Science and Art Village. Who is Tanunpa? Glossary. Museum.
Müze,
Crowded.
kalabalık,
Especially.
özellikle,
Orchestra.
orkestra,
Forest.
orman,
Invent.
icat etmek,
Perfect.
mükemmel,
Screen.
ekran,
Decide.
karar vermek,
Curious.
meraklı,
Search.
araştırmak,
Information.
bilgi,
Introduce.
tanıtmak,
Author.
yazar,
Borrow.
ödünç almak,
Feeling.
duygu,
Well done.
aferin,
Careful.
dikkatli.
I was in Spain last summer. I studied at a summer camp in Spain. It was about painters and paintings. I visited many museums in Spain. I loved the Salvador Dali Museum. I liked Dali's artworks. I stayed for 3 days in Figueres. It is a small town in Spain. The Salvador Dali Museum is in Figueres. I visited the Picasso Museum in Barcelona. It was a nice holiday for me. The campsite was in Barcelona, but it was far away from the city center. It was not crowded. The hotel was in a relaxing area. Downtown in Barcelona was very crowded. There were many tourists from all over the world. I had a lot of time to go sightseeing. I also studied Spanish. I enjoyed both Spain and the summer camp. The Time Village is different from the art camp in Spain. The Time Village isn't a summer camp. We both learn and work in the Time Village. All the activities are especially about technology. I draw robot pictures to design. I don't have time to draw natural things. It's sometimes boring because I love drawing natural things. Idil and Semiha were in Italy last summer. They studied at a music school. They stayed in Rome and they loved Rome. Idil played the piano in the orchestra in Rome and Semiha sang opera there. Sinan was in Turkey. He didn't go to a summer camp. He visited his grandparents. He helped them. He built a small garden house for them. Sinan also walked in the forest and had a long rest at his grandpa's village. Vinci stayed at home and studied on robots. He invented a small cooking machine. He designed and made it. Neva was in the USA last year. She went to a space center and worked on nanobacteria. We are all in the robot town now. We are 6 different people in a perfect team. We went to the library yesterday. We looked for some old books. The library was very big. There were many books. It was bigger than the library in Rome. Some books were very small. They used chips instead of books. We choose a chip, book. We touched it and we read it on screens. The scientists in the robot center made them by using nanotechnology. It was amazing. Idil, Vinci, and Semiha left the library at lunchtime. They were hungry. Sinan, Neva, and I stayed at the library. We looked up a book about butterflies. Neva worked on nanotechnology and biology. She looked for a book about nanotechnology and butterflies. Sinan and I decided to join Neva because we were curious about Tanunpa. We wanted to learn everything about Tanunpa, the robot butterfly. Neva searched for the titles and topics. Sinan searched for butterflies. I searched only its name, Tanunpa. Neva was behind the screens. She looked at old books on the bookshelves. Sinan was next to the screens. He tried to find butterfly chipbooks. We understood that the chipbooks were more different than ebooks. The books with important information were chipbooks in the library. The novels, stories, and poetry books were both ebooks and books. I was in front of the screens, and I looked at the checklist. It was 3 p.m. We didn't find any information. We had a short break. We left the library because we were tired. Something was wrong. There wasn't any information about butterflies. There was some important information about other insects, but we found nothing about butterflies. We didn't look at the newspapers and magazines, but later I found some information in a newspaper. It was not an old newspaper. The date was 2 years ago. A group of scientists started to work on robot technology. The science center called The Curious built a small village. They designed their first robot called Tanunpa. The scientists introduced Tanunpa to the world. They coded Tanunpa for scientific researches. That was all. There weren't any photos in the newspaper. I couldn't see the scientists and Tanunpa, but I thought that I was on the right way. Neva, Sinan, come here. Do you want to see the news? I showed the newspaper and we looked for much more news about Tanunpa, but we couldn't find any other news. Then we looked in magazines and we found an author called Tanunpa. The date of this magazine was 1 year ago. It was an ad of a book. The author wrote a book about a holiday in the time village. It wasn't a coincidence. We checked the name of the book, A Butterfly on the Tree. Neva found the book. There was only one copy of it. We borrowed the book and met with Vinci, Idil, and Semiha at the fair. We read it. We got shocked because Tanunpa was the first robot with feelings. Tanunpa's holiday adventures were amazing. It learned skiing and played snowball. It swam in the lake and went sailing. It climbed mountains and made a snowman. It sunbathed on the beach. Tanunpa loved the world. It loved living like a human. It was happy to go sailing. It was scared when it climbed mountains. It was angry when its snowman melted. The book was about Tanunpa's life in the world and its feelings. It was surprising because the scientists coded feelings to Tanunpa. We learned everything about Tanunpa, but we needed more information. It was dinner time and we went to the robot center. We didn't see Hippocrates and Maria. We went to the library the next day. We looked up all magazines and newspapers about Tanunpa's book. We saw a photo of the author. It wasn't Tanunpa. Tanunpa was a nickname. There was no information about Tanunpa, but there was a woman's photo. Unbelievable! Was she Maria? We read the information about the author. The author was a scientist. We thought the author was Maria.
Can Maria code the feelings to the robots?
I don't know, but it's possible.
We wanted to see Hippocrates. I called him. We met at the fair. We talked with him. We showed Hippocrates the book and the photo.
I think she codes the feelings. Her first coding was on Tanunpa. It's unbelievable. I must call our leader because it's a very dangerous thing. Our mission isn't coding the feelings. We want to save the world. Thank you, STEM team. Well done. Don't tell anyone about this. Don't share this information with anyone. Just work. Just enjoy being at the robot town. I can solve this problem. Take care and be careful, STEM team. See you soon. I must go now.
I hope Hippocrates can solve the problem.